the key thing of any motorcyclist is that you've got to look ahead. A lot of motorcyclists, when they get nervous about traffic or wherever it is, they tend to look down just in front of the front wheel, and it's no good. When you look down at the front wheel, you can't see anything ahead of you. If you get your eyes up and you look as far ahead of you as you possibly can, you can see as far as ahead of you, but you can also see everything else. My mum always said, "Darling, everybody's an idiot on the road, and except for you. Expect everybody to do the obvious thing, pulling out in front of you. You know, if they do pull out in front of you, you know, you don't get angry. You should have just expected it. Don't ride on their blind spot. You know, make sure that they can see you. You know, either you're behind them or you're beside them." I see bikers and stuff getting angry at car drivers, and I just think you know you have to look at you know, if you're a motorcycle rider, you're often a car driver as well, and just imagine yourself in a car, and imagine yourself not being able to see, or it's much harder to see a motorcyclist. So you know, don't get angry, just accept that it can be tricky sometimes. You know, if you get frustrated driving a motorcycle, then everything, you know, it can be a bit more dangerous. So just keep it cool. There are lots of hazards as you ride along. You know, one of the big hazards in town is obviously other vehicles, of course, pedestrians, people walking, you know, jaywalking across the road. The other big hazard in town are in Melbourne is tram tracks, any metal man covers. All those things can be very slippy if it's wet, and especially tram tracks because they're wet and they have a groove. So on the bike you can get a bit of a groove on as you're going through them. So that can be a bit of a scare. So there's lots of things that can catch you out. I think bike maintenance is a key thing. Your tire pressure's got to be the right pressure. Your chain's got to be you know, well looked after and maintained and kept at the right tension, to make sure that the pads on your brakes have got plenty of life in them, that the discs aren't warped. You know, there's just a few little things that you can look at just before you go out each day, and especially if you haven't ridden the bike all winter. You know, so yeah, just get to know your bike. I think you know, the other important thing is to not ride a motorbike exhausted. It's the same thing as a car, exactly the same. It's very easy with modern bikes and modern cars these days to not realize how fast you're going. You've got to remember that if you're standing talking to someone, your next door neighbor on your street that you live in, and some guy goes hurtling past, you think, God damn that person. And so why would you do it on other streets? I suppose the most important thing is when you're approaching a corner is to get your speed down and your braking done before you turn into the corner. And turn into the corner, give yourself, you know, plenty of space. So which means, you know, go in at the right speed and go around, and as you apex the corner, accelerate out. It's all about being aware of the position you're in the road. It's very important to be in a dominating position of the road. Don't be too far over to the left, don't be too far in the middle, stay in the middle of your road. You have just as much right to be there as any other vehicle. You know, so many people have enthusiasm, and then their enthusiasm outweighs their ability. And so just be mindful of your ability. As much as we talk about the dangers, that they sort of pale into insignificance with the joy of riding. It's just keeping them in the back of your mind and making sure that you do them instinctively. You know, that's the thing.